moment. So genocide is a word used to describe a broad category of activities involving, quote, the deliberate and systematic destruction in whole or in part by a state or group of another ethnic, racial, religious, or national group, unquote, including killing members of the group, causing members serious bodily or mental harm, deliberately inflicting conditions of life calculated to bring physical destruction of the group, or imposing measures intended to prevent births in the group or forcibly transfer children to another group. The crime of genocide is defined under international law since 1948. You can see the United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide for that. And the crime, sadly, has continued to occur with impunity up to today, including the Nazi genocide of the Jews, the Hutu destruction of the Tutsi in Rwanda, the plight of victims in Cambodia, Bosnia, East Timor, Western Sudan, the Darfur, and others. So the panelists tonight are all MSU faculty members, diverse in their disciplinary training and background, who work on subjects and projects that involve or are related to the study of genocide. Each will speak briefly for 10 to 12 minutes about their work in the broader subject. Panelists will then comment further, and we'll open up to questions and discussions with the audience. So we're going to start on my immediate left with Dr. Laura Apol from Teacher Education, who's going to tell us about writing stories from the 1994 genocide of Tutsis in Rwanda as a form of healing and of witness.
Thank you, John, and thank you all for being here. I'm excited to be part of this conversation. I don't come here as a scholar of Rwanda or the history of Rwanda, but rather I'm here as a writer and a teacher of writing. And the kinds of stories that I'm talking about tonight actually are twofold. The stories written by survivors that tell of their own experiences as a means of facilitating healing, as well as my own writing as a poet in response both to the stories that I was told and as a way of working through my experiences in Rwanda. I'm going to give you a really brief overview just to remind you of some of what happened as part of the history of the genocide in Rwanda. You can see up there the geography that Rwanda is bordered by Congo, Uganda, Tanzania, and Burundi. It's a landlocked country there in East Central Africa. And I'm very quickly going to go through a historical understanding of the Hutu and Tutsi because actually it's important to understand that these ethnic divisions are actually constructs that did not start out being ethnic divisions in Rwanda. There have historically been three groups of people in Rwanda: the Twa, who are hunters and gatherers and live in the forests, the Hutu, who were farmers, and the Tutsi, who were owners of cattle. Hutu and Tutsi were permeable designations and boundaries based on economics, not ethnicity. So if you were a particularly good farmer and you acquired cattle, you could move from the category of Hutu to Tutsi, and likewise if you lost your cattle and returned to farming, you could move from Tutsi to Hutu. The Hutu and Tutsi intermarried. They shared rituals, language, and religion, lived in harmony, and there was social mobility that moved through the groups.